Okay, hello everybody and welcome. We've got a group stage round 2 of the Mario Kart 64 150cc Skips tournament matchup. We have Zoki, who won his opening match in a time of 32 minutes, let's see what his exact time was, 41 seconds, and he's going to be playing up against MK64MR, who we may refer to as Matthias. And he won his opening match with a time of 30 minutes and 4 seconds. These two players are both very well known in the MK64 community. Hopefully we'll have a good race. I'll be joined on the mic tonight by Smurfy.
Hello. Oh, there we go.
So we start off. Both players are playing on the US version of the game. This is because Zoki only has the US version and Matthias wanted to make it a fair race, so he said that he would forego his Japanese 1.1 advantage and race on the US version as well.
Yeah, he did the same thing in the no skips tournament where the difference is only a second, so
it looks like both of them got the start jump.
both got the blue shell item box as well.
So this is basically a perfect Luigi Raceway from both players so far. What we're going to see them do with this blue shell is, just as they cross the finish line going into the last lap, they're going to shoot the blue shell forward. Because they're in first, it will fly back into them. They use it to knock over the wall and fall into the tunnel. Cuts out about half of the lap and then just race to the finish.
Zoki deciding not to drift while he was getting hit by the blue shell either. He just kind of angled himself towards the wall to get over.
So when you do it, do you like hop into a drift? I tend to just nudge the control stick left.
Yeah, I drift. I chuck it and then just jump into a left-facing drift, and you just kind of guaranteed to get an angle over the wall.
I chuck it and then just hold the joystick left.
Oh, yeah. Zoran
You have to be...
did the third option. He just kind of hopped and angled his cart, pointing towards the wall.
As long as you get over, that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
So, Moo Farmers track doesn't have any shortcuts at all. You've got the moles, which are the main obstacle. Personally, I completely go around them. I think the 1 second or 2 seconds you'll save by risking going through them all is probably not worth it in skips.
Both players also using Toad instead of Yoshi. See if they continue that throughout the cups.
You say instead of Yoshi. I am very much a Peach player myself.
Yeah.
I can see the arguments. In fact, I can't even see the arguments at world record level in skips for choosing Yoshi. It saves like. Does it even take a frame to move between the characters?
A couple frames, I think. Yeah. For me, it's just a sort of visual training thing where I use Toad in time trials, so I'm used to 150cc being Toad, and so just visually, Yoshi makes sense with 150cc for my thumbs to connect with the brain.
Wow, 111 by both players.
Yeah,
to be honest, I'm
cool.
surprised that Zoki is kind of keeping pace with MR on the non-shortcut tracks there.
Yeah.
Both players still pretty much neck and neck. So Koopa Troopa Beach, this is again what we class as a non-shortcut track. However, there is a shortcut really where you drive through the cave and cut out about 9 seconds of the track, but it's intended by Nintendo, so we class it as non-shortcut because it was intended to be done.
Matthias spinning out on the start boost there, the lovely 150cc mechanic.
Yeah, I hate the first corner of Koopa Troopa Beach in GP. Like, if you make any very nice.
About 2 seconds over Matthias with his red shells.
Is that all it is for a start?
Oh, sorry.
So the reason why Zoki was able to get a start, Matthias getting bolted just before the jump. He's going to go for the backup, makes it in cleanly. So the reason why Zoki can get a star in 8th is there's some badly mapped polygons to the right of the finish line where if you trigger an item while you're in that area, the game thinks you're in 8th place. MR just did it successfully there to get a star. So that's equalised that portion of the RNG, but MR behind because of the CPU bolting here.
Sorry about blasting everyone's ears there.
Another spin out from Matthias. Zoki moving out to about a 5-second lead at the moment. Next track up is Calamari Desert. This is one where you'll see the 2 players picking up the first item box and then circling back behind the CPUs so that they can trigger their item when they're in 8th place, and they're going to be hoping to pick up a star. So Zoki's going to take this item box, go behind the CPUs, and he gets the first time star.
Yep.
So I think he'll do that on lap 2, not this lap.
Matthias also getting the first time star.
So Matthias looks, yeah, he's going to go lap 2 as well. So what they're going to do with...
I always like when both players get the items in the same time on KD.
I think it depends. If I'm racing somebody, I want them to be sat there for about 3 hours looking for the item.
Of course, yeah.
So if we watch Zoki's screen, at this train passage here, rather than cross the tracks, he's going to follow the train into the tunnel. He's going to drive until Lakitu tells him to turn around. And that indicates he's actually crossed the finish line in the tunnel. He activates the star, and when he recrosses the finish line, it gives him a lap. That only works on laps 1 and 2, and it only works if you use a star to do it.
Yeah, both players using it pretty safely. If you turn around right when Lakitu shows up, you can actually trigger the star too far into the tunnel and it still won't trigger the lap.
What I really,
a bit further.
What I really hate is when Lakitu doesn't show up at all. Like, sometimes you'll be driving in the tunnel and you think, where's Lakitu? And he just does not show up at all. And eventually you think, well, I've driven far enough now, and you turn around and you go.
Zoki switching to Peach for Flower Cup. Matthias sticks with Toad.
So Toad's Turnpike is one of the bigger tracks in this whole tournament in terms of probably difficulty and just a sheer amount of time you can win or lose. Zoki missing the shortcut, and Matthias missing it. So what you're going to see is they're going to jump out of bounds, and then while Lakitu's put them down, you get a set period of time where you can jump out of bounds again, but without triggering the out of bounds collision, and that allows you to jump down to the track below. If you look, the track's actually a figure of 8, so you're essentially skipping nearly half of the track. And Matthias is having a very hard time.
He's committing to it though.
And because Zoki
there he goes.
Did his first shortcut at the correct part of the track, that means he gets a secondary warp just after the finish line.
Yeah,
where
I think Matthias has worked, but he might decide to set it up again to be safe.
So I never bother setting up again. If it doesn't work, I just immediately jump straight out of bounds again, because you'll be put down halfway around anyway.
Oh, it did work.
Yep.
Easy one to tell there because he wasn't in first and then just suddenly jumped to first when he got out of bounds.
It still looks like it's going to be probably approaching a 30-second time loss on this track.
Yeah. And this is one of the hardest tracks to do under pressure in a race setting like this.
Yeah, I find it easier if I play with my nose almost against the screen when I play this track.
It's always great in PB attempts. You finally get out of Mushroom Cup, and then you immediately dies on Toast Turnpike.
I've also found I can't do that shortcut to save my life if I'm streaming and chatting to people while I'm doing it. I have to be like 100% zoned in, focused on the exact timing of the hop. So Frappy Snowland for Zoki, this is one of the more famous shortcuts in the game, where you go back to the bridge and then jump from the bridge to the snow, cross the finish line, go out of bounds, and the K2 puts you back down on the bridge, but a whole lap ahead.
Looks like Zoki's controller struggles a bit to go into the back notches, back diagonals. On the start boost and on the first lap there, just A-B spin to the side instead of back into the side.
I wonder if he's playing with a fixed controller. So I know a lot of people used, there's a player called VAJ who used to fix people's controllers using little O-rings, but it did limit the movement into some of the corner directions.
Yeah.
I mean, it made them fine for time trialing, which is what a lot of the players here spend the majority of their time doing, but for certain A-B spin strats, it does make it more difficult.
And I don't know what quality of stick Zoki likes to use.
So Choco Mountain, let's see if Zoki goes for the big shortcut here. Yep, and clean over. That shortcut is, I think it's one of the better looking shortcuts in the game.
Yeah, if you hit it really clean, it looks really cool.
You just suddenly get massive air fly over the wall, which looks like you've got no right to be able to go over it. Oh, beautiful again, Zoki.
I think it is a bit easier to do it the way he's doing it too, hitting it more straight. You can hit it at an angle and land further left on the road, but much better to just be clean.
Tears getting what we call the easier backup jump. Zoki 3 out of 3.
Not quite.
So he should go for a backup on a grey wall. Difficult to do it where he's doing with the speed he's got, but he's got up. And 1:15, that is absolutely fantastic for a Choco Mountain.
Yeah, really, really good chopper.
Tears on the fast backup again. I'm going to be completely honest. I did not expect Zoki to be playing so well.
Me neither. Especially, I think maybe he didn't think so either. The way he's been talking in the lead up to this. Maybe it was just a ruse to lull Matthias into a sense of security.
Wow, he's going for red shells and he's got red shells.
Yeah, he's got 6 red shells.
Perfect execution on the first one. Jumps the wall. Now he just needs to try and do that 2 more times. Matthias with a 1:32. Another near 20 seconds picked up by Zoki. Failed it that time. So
yeah, he's got the spare shells though. So.
After this one, it's going to become a bit more difficult, I think, with the CPUs.
Well, the thing is, because he's in first and a full lap ahead, the red shells won't really track the CPUs that are right behind them.
Oh, very nice.
Wow. Really good.
So you notice that at the end of the cup, they instantly reset the game. You don't force players to sit through the 2 or 3 minutes of celebration screens.
Matthias missing the wall jump with the gold shroom.
Oh, and he's missing the hole in the wall as well. This is very un-Matthias-like. It looks like Matthias hasn't really been practicing this mode much.
Yeah. He's got red shells. See if he goes for it to save some time.
Straight over by Zoki. A ballerina jump there. Nice 720 no-scope. Straight over again. Wow. Zoki's been practicing. I won't believe for a second that he hasn't been practicing.
Yeah. Matthias went for the red shell skip and missed it.
He's going to have to hurry up as well. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So a 35 for Zoki.
35. That's a really, really good Wario Stadium.
Oh, that's
Matthias makes it
a nice salvage by Matthias there.
I find it interesting how many people are going for those red shells in races.
I can guarantee that one person won't be going for them later today.
Well, we'll say 2, because I haven't practiced it at all.
So Zoki's onto Sherbet Land. This is a no skips track. There are Taz only skips, but we're not going to be seeing any of that. So it's just a case of avoiding the penguins, which are on cycles. So as long as you don't crash out, you should know where they are. And trying not to fall in the water. What is that setup angle?
Yeah, worth mentioning, we have a bit of a unique situation here where Mole and I actually are racing later today, and our opponents for our next round match are the racers on screen now. So the winner of this plays the winner of us, and the loser of this plays the loser of us.
I was all prepared for playing Zoki.
Yeah, I was thinking Matthias was a likely opponent for me as well. But, of course, still could be.
So it looks like Zoki's Sherbet Land's been fairly uneventful, but Matthias's Warrior Stadium, anything but. Finally finishes it with a 1:11. Now, just because Zoki has a big lead at the moment, this does not mean this race is over.
Yeah.
In fact, you can go into the final track a minute and a half ahead and still not be the winner. Something we've seen happen already probably at least 2 or 3 times this tournament. And by far the biggest time-saving skip is on Rainbow Road, right to finish it.
Yeah.
And that's the green shells.
Or if you're me, lose 30 seconds on Royal Raceway.
The thing with the Royal Raceway one is if you miss it, getting it the second time is really easy, but you still lose like 9 seconds.
You'd think so. I missed the easy setup a couple times too. I put a fake item box in midair right in the way.
Zoki jumps across, hits the wall on the other side to the right of the polygon scene. The game thinks he fell off where the ramp is, puts him to the top of the ramp.
Oh,
wow,
the
gets a
dodge.
shock dodge. So
Yeah, you're invincible when you're on that boost pad.
So if you're playing multiplayer with your friends and you've got a lightning, don't use that when they're right at the edge of the ramp on the zipper pad, because it will have no effect on them. Use it just before they get to the zipper.
Yeah, because the spin out animation actually takes priority over the boost pad, so boost pad won't activate if you're spinning it. Zoran putting a fake item box right in his way, basically the same thing I did in my race. He has to kind of be safe now, can't just go full speed into that shortcut, because he'll just hit the fake item box and miss the shortcut.
I'd really like to keep a fake item box or a shell or a banana just for lap 3, because when you get put back down on the ramp on lap 3, you normally have a whole bunch of CPUs coming charging up behind you. And Zoki missed it. It was too far to the right. So you should move forward a little bit.
I don't think it was too far to the right, it was just that he hit too far down on the wall. He just hit it too low. Because pretty much anywhere along that bank, as long as you're to the right of that polygon, it'll work. But he just hit it too low and got bounced down to the water.
Take your word on it, you're the top 10 skips player. You're top 10 on the time trial shortcuts now?
Yeah, 6th on time trials.
So
after yesterday, 5th in this.
So there's 10 or 11 seconds that Zoki lost it. Wow, Matthias.
That's close
half a
to
chance of the finish line warp. So there is a skip where when you go off that ramp to the left, if you hit the exact correct polygon steam, the game kind of freaks out and then just dumps you at the finish line. It looks kind of cool, but it's quite hard and rare to do. Matthias going very left there, just making it.
Abney saying too far right and too far down. Well, he's even more of an authority, so we'll go with him.
Yeah. For anybody who didn't catch Abney's race yesterday, you should watch that. It was very, very impressive. Bowser Castle. This track doesn't have any humanly possible shortcuts, certainly not in a race situation.
Matthias obviously putting down a lot of bananas going off the ramp.
It is catching up a little bit of time on this track. Probably about 12 or 13 seconds. I didn't see exactly what Zoki got.
Yeah, I think he hit all 3 shortcuts clean, so...
He also seemed to hit them a bit faster as well. Zoki's having a decent Bowser Castle here. A few minor issues, but nothing too serious so far. See if you can avoid the last set of clumps.
Yeah, eating bananas everywhere, but luckily not in horrible places.
I had a practice run earlier where I managed to snipe a banana with a green shell that would have just thrown me into the lava by the bridge.
Nice. That always feels good.
Actually, that's a very good. I think a 152. Pretty much anybody in the tournament will take that any day of the week on this track. Bowser Castle is the kind of track where once it starts to go wrong, it escalates very quickly.
Yeah.
Thwomps are on cycles.
If the CPUs are close to you, they start throwing a lot more items. So if you hit a thwomp and let them catch up, it's bad news.
So DKJP, there's 2 ways of doing this lap skip shortcut. There's the fast way, where you clip out of bounds and then hit the cave and land back in the cave. Or the slower way, where you go to the water. Yeah, so Zoki missed it. He was going for the fast setup and missed it. I think if you go for the fast setup and you can probably afford to miss it twice before you start losing time over just doing 3 straight into the water. That's 1 lap done for Zoki. Just needs to do that 2 more times. This time gets the cave, the quick cave entry. CPU's coming past.
You can see on Matthias' side too, he's holding a banana through the whole track. Zooming out the camera reduces lag. So, and Bowser's Castle is a pretty laggy track. So you saw him holding the banana out. I think a lot of people, me included, don't like dodging the thwomps with this camera zoomed out, so I tend to just dump the bananas.
Yeah. I generally don't like playing, because these players are playing zoomed out anyway, because you have 2 views, zoomed in and zoomed out. But when you trail a banana or a fake item box behind you, you zoom out even more. And I find it difficult to drive when you're that zoomed out.
Yeah.
Like, tracks like Sherbet Land I find impossible to drive like that. So Zoki is taking the slow right-hand side path of Yoshi Valley. What this does, it messes up a few checkpoints and he can drive off of here, bounce into the wall where the finish line is on the other side, bounce left across. Wow, not enough speed. So you normally, if you go into that wall with a bit more speed, you'll bounce more viciously across to the left. That'll pass you across the finish line and skip you a lap. But he went with such low speed, he just didn't get any real bounce to the left. So that's gonna give Matthias a good chance to catch some time up.
Yeah, he got 1 clean into the cave and then 2 into the water, so saved a bit of time.
So Zoki's going to be going for it again. I wonder if it was a triple tap fail the first time. Oh, Yoshi says no. Oh,
Wario!
This is all going really badly wrong now for Zoki. And you can't go back, you're going to have to go around. He doesn't know where he is. Because he fell off, it's walked him to where you would get put down after having completed that shortcut.
Looks like Matthias tried for the YOLO jump at the start of Yoshi Valley, but he missed it.
So My expectation is that Matthias is probably watching this restream, and because there's like a minute's delay, that he probably doesn't realise just how bad a Yoshi Valley that Zoki's been having. Zoki's going to use the star. He's going to, where the tree and the wall on the other side make like a V shape, and aim to the middle of that. Was that left enough for Zoki?
It should have been, yeah, it looked right. Yeah.
Yeah, Peaches got it.
Yeah, Matthias is also going to set it up, and now he's much, much closer.
Yes. There's probably only about 20 seconds between them now, depending on how quickly Matthias gets this. Going to find the right little mark on the road that he
I wonder if
uses.
he accidentally triggered that, or if he meant to do that early. I think that'll work.
Yeah, it should be.
Here we go. Here we go.
So you can see he saved almost a minute on that track.
Yeah, that was a very bad Yoshi Valley for Zoki. The CPUs also kind of probably cost him another 30 or 40 seconds. So Banshee Boardwalk is another no skips track. It's just a case of driving around, probably doing something like 34-second laps. And,
So 28 seconds between them now, and you missed the start jump. That's pretty much it. So on the road.
Banshee Boardwalk, the CPUs like to litter the track with bananas and fake items, usually in the worst possible positions where you hit the banana and then spin off the track and lose about 10 seconds. So both players are just going to be hoping for a nice, clean, uneventful one. Although MR, having chosen Toad, does have the option, if he has any heavyweights in second or third, of dropping behind them to set up a more complicated Rainbow Road start. It doesn't look like he's got the heavyweights.
It is still possible with the other two lightweights, it's just more difficult.
So, Banshee Boardwalk's been pretty okay for Zoki so far. So hopefully no CPU surprises on the final corner. And he's going to move on to Rainbow Road, the final track in the game.
Matthias getting the RNG he really wants on Rainbow Road, all kinds of green shells.
So on Rainbow Road, what we're going to see with Zoki is he's going to jump left at the start, do one of the most well-known shortcuts in the game, which is jumping from the start down to the track below on the left. What you want to do is once you've jumped off, wow, he's not going to make it.
Yeah. So if
And that's put Matthias in the lead.
Shot him up.
He didn't go left enough, and it looked like he slowed down a little bit too much before.
Tried to bounce back up the hill, but didn't quite make it. So he's gonna have to drive around. And yeah, Matthias is gonna take a pretty good lead if he makes the jump here.
Matthias is going to jump off to the left, land on the track below. He's going to want to be holding brake now so that he doesn't bounce off the track when he lands.
And he made it just fine, so it takes a pretty good lead. But still not over. That's not the only big potential time loss on this track.
So Matthias is now looking for green shells, and he's picked up a green shell.
Zoki's struggling a bit to get to first place, and he needs to get there to get his green shells. I think you can get triple greens in second place though.
Oh, shooting himself in the red. This is such a shame. I mean, it was going so well for Zoki right up to Yoshi Valley.
Yeah. He needs Matthias to miss this green shell skip and have to drive around another lap.
Yeah, so there's a green shell skip where you can shoot a green shell forward, chase, catch up with it, hit yourself off your own green shell so that you go off the track and then you cross the finish line while you're falling through the void. And the game will put you back up behind the finish line, but a whole lap ahead of where you were. Matthias got it perfectly.
So he's pretty safe now from the CPUs. Zoki needs to hit this.
I hate his I hate the way Zoki sets that up.
Oh,
So
he missed
straight.
it.
So Zoki's now going to have to go around again. So
Yeah, he's
should
gonna
see
need
it.
a pretty big disaster from Matthias now.
Matthias has
Get
got a
this
green.
going.
Zoki makes his jump this time.
And he nails it. That is a win for Matthias.
Yet borrowing a power cut in the next 15 seconds.
Looks like he's going to end with a high 29 as well. Very solid time.
Yeah, especially given some of the adventures he had on some of the tracks.
Yeah.
So congratulations to Matthias. Moves on to a record of 2 wins, no defeats in this tournament. And we'll go on to face the winner of me and Smurfy.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Zoran does have his green shell, so he's going to try it at the end of this lap again.
He should get 2 or 3 attempts at it, given how far the CPUs are behind at the moment. Not with that one. Is he going to wait for it?
So hard
I don't
to do.
like. Yeah, I don't like chasing after it because you just lose the time where you could be picking up another one.
Gets another one.
When you see people chasing after greens, I'm sure the success rate of them actually using it is probably about 3% or something.
Oh, he gets it. Which is good because the CPU's caught up.
So that's going to put Zoki onto his last lap, and he'll get a time of somewhere around what 31:17.
Here we go.
Hello, Matthias.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
Congrats.
that was an exciting one.
Congratulations!
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks. Give me a second, I have to turn off my TV. Okay, now I can hear you.
So,
Wow.
were you watching the streams at all?
Yeah, I was watching it and I knew I was far behind in the middle of the run and still after Banshee Boardwalk. I didn't know exactly how far and I wasn't aware of Zoki's Rainbow Road until I had done mine actually. So I was done with my Rainbow Road, which went very well. And then I had to watch actually what Zoki did there. And then I knew that I had won the race, so it was very exciting.
Yeah, for Zoki, it all started going wrong on Yoshi Valley. He had possibly the worst Yoshi Valley I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Missing shortcuts, CPUs whacking him so he couldn't do shortcuts. I think you caught a whole minute up just on Yoshi Valley. And I think the pressure...
Okay.
I think if Zoki had gone into Rainbow Road with like a 1.5 minute lead rather than like a 20-second lead, it might have made it a bit easier for him, but he did the kind of special start where he missed his jump to the road below at the start. He went short on that one and then had to drive around, and at that point you were in the lead. And
Yeah, that surprised me actually, because I know Zoki's quite strong on that start jump on Rainbow Road, so I was surprised.
I mean, Zoki looked absolutely fantastic all the way through the first three cups.
Yeah, he was playing really well.
Yeah, I have to agree. He put a lot of pressure onto me, and I dealt very well with the Lightning and Koopa Troopa Beach. Did the tunnel jump small, so that was very nice. And then on KD, I had good RNG with the star, but from Toad's Turnpike on, it went downhill for me. It's the perfect example of practice versus match situation. I had very good success rate for Toad's Turnpike in warm-up. Also Warrior Stadium and DKJP was also better than in the race. But yeah, when you are under pressure, your thumb and your mind is not relaxed. So yeah, things can go wrong.
That angle which you were trying to do the Warrior Stadium second jump at looked really strange.
I was under pressure and I started to really rush, and I overdid everything, so I started to do it too quickly, and that didn't work out well. I should have taken my time there.
So, have you been practicing much for this tournament, or are you kind of more just jumping in and playing the matches as they come?
For the first one, I was jumping in and had a little warm up. For this one, I actually put in a couple of hours this afternoon, but nothing before today. But I felt quite prepared. I really had a good Mario Raceway red shell stuff, good success rate there, and I somehow managed to hit it a few times in the race, although not perfect. But I was far better on Toad's Turnpike and Warrior Stadium in practice this afternoon than in the race. Yeah, I'm definitely lacking some routine for some shortcuts.
So in the next round, you're going to be facing the winner of myself and Smurfy. Do you have any preference on which of the two of us you'd like to play?
Not really. I mean, I've met you a couple of times, and I know you actually don't like cheating that much. You call it cheating always, but I don't know exactly who of you two is currently strong in the tournament. I don't know who has the faster time. I would have to look it up.
Smurfy's about 3 minutes faster than me at the moment, so in all likelihood you'll be playing against Smurfy.
Yeah, I take whoever wins of you two. Whoever wins deserves it.
And the loser of us gets to play Zoki, and having just watched Zoki play then.
Yeah, I don't think either of us is looking forward to a good match in the next round.
No, I mean, Zoki, if he sorts out his Yoshi Valley and his Rainbow Road, I mean, he was on 28 pace, probably mid 28 pace up until that point.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I mean, he nearly beat my PR just in that run then anyway. I'm a low 31 player, so that's going to be difficult.
Did he do any mistakes before Special Cup? I saw he struggled a bit on DKJP, but not too much. And then Yoshi Valley and Rainbow Road, yeah.
He missed one Royal Raceway.
Yeah, he missed one of the red shells on Mario Raceway, but had an extra set of triple reds, so it didn't cost him much.
Oh yeah, that's good for him.
He missed a Royal Raceway shortcut, the first one, and had to reset that one up. But again, talking 10 seconds.
Accidentally put a fake item box in midair, right in the way.
I remember I did some crazy, stupid stuff on Mario Raceway. I had a golden shroom, which I didn't want to have. And then I missed the wall jump and wanted to do a quick recovery with A/B spin, and that went really bad. And then when I got the triple reds, I was under pressure because I knew I was behind. And missed, I think, once, at least once.
Yeah,
so,
and
yeah,
Zoki's run.
Put a lot of pressure.
Zoki's run was just really, really, really well executed up until Yoshi Valley, and then it just disappeared for him. Probably lost best part of 3 minutes just on the last 3 tracks.
Yeah, but it sounds a bit strange if I say that, but you know, people who know me well. I'm not often in this kind of situation where I'm far behind. Normally, when we play other modes, it's not the same. So you are not 2 minutes behind. But yeah, in this skips category, I felt a lot of pressure then when I saw I was way, way behind. And then I really started to feel how little difference in execution and setup can mess you up on the shortcuts. All your routine can be gone suddenly, and that's definitely difficult to handle.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, in the end, I somehow came through.
Any more questions?
Good Rainbow Road, definitely.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything else.
Anything you want to add, Matthias?
I'm just happy that we have so many voluntary commentators. So thanks for commentating, you two, and all the guys who support the tournament, and also the SG crew who does a great job. Helps us a lot, and it's less work for us, more fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament. It will be really nice.
Congratulations, Matthias. Pleasure as always. Congratulations to Zoki as well. I mean, he had 3/4 of an excellent run going there. I'd just like to say thank you to the millions of people watching around the world on SpeedGaming. Thank you to Smurfy on the comms.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good night from us. We'll be back
I'll see you in
In
a
what?
few hours.
What is it? 3 hours, 20 minutes?
Yep.
I think. Are we on Speed Gaming 2 as well?
I think we're on SpeedGaming 1, actually.
Speed Gaming
Yeah, I
1.
think on main. Yeah,
So
you got the big stage, guys.
Speed Gaming 1, 6 p.m. US Eastern. The next matchup between Danger Mole and Smurfy. Until then, good night. Take care.